Alright, that was Eminem. You're tuning in to NUS Radio Pulse with me, Dexter, from 2 to 4 p.m. Right here in the studios. You are joining me in my show today. My special guests all the way from NTU, the girls from the Blue Right campaign, right? Qinyan and Cheryl, right? And now they're going to tell us a bit more about. I was talking to them about a break, and apparently Qinyan had unfortunate incident in Vietnam. So perhaps you want to talk about it.
Okay, so basically before I went to Vietnam, I didn't really know what the impact of saline water would be, because I mean, to us Singaporeans, the water we get is so clean that we can just drink directly from the tap. But when I went there, I realized that everything that flows out of their tap, even clear water, has high salt content. So, I mean, I didn't really know what that meant. But then I experienced it for myself on the very first day I went there. I ate, their local cuisine, drank their local water. I ate their ice and all that. And then before I knew it, before the night even ended, I threw everything up. I just threw everything up.
So you became violently sick?
I wouldn't call it violently sick, but I was sick, and everything that went up couldn't stay down. And everything that went down couldn't stay down. So everything just came up.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
And then I that was when I really experienced the effects of saline water firsthand. And I realized that, those people there really don't have it easy.
But, I mean, the people there, they actually build up an immunity to the water, right?
They do, but in the long run, when you start to take in a lot of salt, and then we actually went to a hospital there in one of the poorest provinces, and we realized that in that area there's actually a high number of kidney dialysis patients. And it's increasing every year on year, because they have no choice. They have to consume the water like that. So over time, there will be a lot of health repercussions and all.
I know Singapore is very clean and we have all clean water. A lot of people do not realize that outside of Singapore, people actually don't have drinkable water. So Cheryl, now back to you. Right, can I give Qinyan all the limelight? All right, so any interesting things you experienced during your trip to China?
I guess one of the most memorable was at the last village site, which is called Sanchun. Basically what we did there was that we interviewed this very interesting local doctor. His name is Dr. Diera. He's actually from Mali, Africa, and he studied in France. He has a medical degree. So he went to China for an exchange back then, and then he decided to stay on in China for a long period of time. So basically he has been there since I think 10 or 12 years ago, and he speaks fluent Mandarin. And so what he does is that he conducts health and hygiene workshops over there. And we were interviewing him and asking him, what are some of the obstacles that you face when you were teaching the Chinese how to deal with these new water source that you have and everything. And he mentioned that it's hard to change their habits, and he gave this example they have this new water source, right? And so the villagers have to bring their buckets to go fill up the water. And there is this old bucket they like to use, but it's very rusty and it has holes in it. But they just insist on using it. So every time they take it, right, then the water will drip everywhere. So they keep telling them, why don't you just use a new bucket, one that doesn't have holes? Then they'll be like, no, 我们用了10几年了，我们不可以换那个 bucket. So they will insist on using that bucket, and he cannot do anything to change their mind. So what he does is that he will stand by at the water point with a new bucket. And every time someone tries to fill the bucket, right, he will run along with them with the to collect the water so that they don't waste the thing. So I think it just really amazes me, how patient Dr. D is, to stay on and teach them about all these kind of things.
Why water? I mean, it's certainly a project that not many people would embark on, and why the need for clean water in regions that are so far out of Singapore, or at least not related to Singapore at all. So
I think first of all, when we were brainstorming on a good topic to do for our final year project, we decided that we wanted to do something meaningful. So we looked around in the market, as in the current as in market in Singapore right now. There are a lot of youth oriented projects that are very lifestyle based. Maybe in terms of health related topics, health issues, or maybe about gadgets,
over reliance on the internet, stuff like that.
But then we realized that none of this is as basic, as fundamental as the needs for survival. And initially when we thought, in Singapore, as we came up with the topic of water, when we thought about it, in Singapore there are a lot of water campaigns, a lot of like, save water wisely, water conservation topics, but a lot of it is very me-centered. It's all about me. It's all about, how we can save water, how we can conserve water. When Singapore as in we have a lot of abundant water resources. However, we wanted to do something more others-centered, and
Alright.
we realized that beyond, just water, as in saving water, conserving water, there are also there is also the other side of the story where there are people actually in our neighboring countries that don't have access to water at all, don't have access to clean water at all. And that was when we thought that we could use another angle to look at this topic. It's something serious, but we hope that we could translate it to like a target audience that would be that we hope that we could translate it for them, so that it will be more lighthearted and more closer to their hearts.
So any last words for our listeners before you go, girls?
Pledge your support. Pledge your support for the right to clean water.
All right,
The
that's-
Blue Right stands for the right to clean water.
Yeah.
I think we left that out, but
Okay, now I'm better late than never. So, NUS students, I strongly urge you to go down and pledge for, everyone has the right to clean water, not only us. So, go down, take a look at what our neighbors in the regional countries are going through, and, well, just give your pledge, right? All right, so thank you, girls, for joining me today on my show. All right.
Thank you.